Okay, everybody. Yeah. Give me a sec here. Uh, I'm getting YouTube started. I think I was actually able to do it. Although everything is named wrong. That's funny. Not really, but that's funny. Give me a minute here. I'm getting on it. I'm on it. I'm there. Everything's good. Okay. Here. Mhm. I usually do a lot of this stuff behind the before I ever start the stream, but I kicked this one in. It's gonna stream Kaze, but I can't get really. So now you're stuck. Okay, well, I'm stuck with you. No problem. I'm about to do some Satisfactory if I can get. What I tried to do, Knuckles, is I tried to not shut off Twitch and Kick and just get YouTube to fall in line, right? Which kind of worked. Kind of, sort of, maybe a little bit. Kind of. You know what I mean? So Twitch is still working. I got it. Twitch is good. Twitch is good. Kick, how you guys doing? Not too well. Still says I'm offline. No, I'm back. Okay, but Satisfactory. Save. We're good. Okay. That's all good. There we are. I lost everybody on Kick. Oops. Sorry. It happens. We'll go with it happens. Or it happened. One of the two. Satisfactory, YouTube. How you doing? Copy. Paste. Gaming. Factory. There. Drag that thumbnail over. Add in some tags. And save. Should be good. Settings low, yes, we're good. Analytics, yes, we're good. Okay. Are you still there, Knuckled? YouTube. Subscription. There. Didn't the... No, there it is. Okay. Yep, still... Okay, so everything kind of went good. Golf Guy, you still over on Twitch? Lucas, are you still there? I was trying to do this, everybody, just to keep it all. Okay. Yeah, I think I got it. Still good? Still good? Okay, well, maybe I got it. Okay, we'll get rid of you. We'll get rid of you. We got game sound. That's pretty loud. Okay. Yeah, I think we're okay. Sorry, buddy. In and out of sound here. Okay, well, I think I'm good. So this is the build. In case you've never seen my factory. This is the top floor of the factory. It goes for as far as that train is out there. Like that train way off in the distance. That is as far as my factory goes. It's not huge. I got some space out there yet. Right? Far side of the circle. I gotta wait for sunlight here. We're in the middle of the night. But yeah, this is the top floor. My last part of the build was this crane. And it irritated me so bad that I just couldn't come back. Because I was trying to get it built. And my last thing to do was to hang I was trying to hang an assembler off of this. You know what I mean? To make it look like I was moving an assembler into place. Right? That was the plan. So top floor takes care of all of the things that need to be made in the game. I have turned some into buildings. The outline is supposed to be, I'm going to be doing buildings, right, on these. Like, that's what the walls are. They were to separate stuff out and make buildings and whatnot. The entrances down into the underground, not all of them worked out, but they say subway. So it's like a walking thing to go down into the basement, right? Now, the whole top floor here was supposed to get roads. And these roads had, you know, street lights on them and all the rest of that. And then at the intersections, I actually made an intersection with like green lights, red lights. You know what I mean? This was supposed to be a sidewalk cafe, and this is a hotel, right? And I had balconies on the hotel. You know what I mean? Like, I was going to have some fun with this build. And then the lag just got like nuts. It got insane amounts of lag. So I wasn't able to continue. But yeah, the whole top floor. So the second floor is logistics. This is where everything gets moved around the factory. Most of it's up in the ceiling, like up as high as possible so I can run around. But it is endless down here of lines going back and forth and things being connected. They put elevators in the game, so of course I put an elevator up. So yeah, this is my logistic level. And in between each set of pillars is 10 spaces. So it's a 10 by 10 by 10. And I have, I can't remember anymore. I think I had 42 sections. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think it's 8. So 8, 16, 24, 32, 40. 24, 32, 40. 40, 48. And 8 is 56. 56 sections at 10 by 10 per. 5,600 times 4. I think 22,000 square meters is the factory. Yeah, no doubt, eh? The next floor down underneath the logistics is a lot of smelting, concrete making, stuff like that. I really wish it was daytime. So this is where all the smelting takes place. Raw materials come in from below. I have 4 16-car train stations down here. Each one of these train stations, like some of them are used, not used, all the rest of that fun stuff. All of these bring commodities in from the great beyond, like the desert loop, right, which is one section. The smelting bays just for iron and copper are huge. And then afterwards, I have to organize it all. And this is where my lag started coming in. Because I started having like way too much being moved. And it doesn't show up anymore. Right? Like now that I got numbers applied to it. So this is how much I'm using. You know what I mean? As a total like 790 per minute or going up. You know, that kind of thing. And a lot of these belts, well, they were full. I don't know, maybe I'm using too much. So, yeah. I have the golden cup, so of course I finished the game. Yeah, so this one's running a little bit smoother. Yeah, this is bank after bank after bank of evener belts. The whole point of them is no matter what I'm pulling out, as long as I don't go over the MK5 belt, right, which is, whatchamacallit, 780 per minute. As long as I don't go over that, I can pull as much as I want out of this system on each individual belt. And the rest of these belts will help to keep that one belt happy, is a good way to say it. So iron is running good. Why? What happened to copper? So am I running into... Yeah, I'm drawing too much, obviously. Oh, for sure. I'm drawing too much. A lot of it is blueprints, golf. So what I did was I set up on my blueprints, right? I thought B was blueprints in this. Maybe I'm wrong. Sim, how you doing? Right, blueprints are here. I keep forgetting. So in my blueprints, under belt balancers, so I set up everything from a 3x3, so 3 in, 3 out, 4, 5, 6, 7, all the way up to 15 in and out, right? And what it does is it balances everything coming in, like each one of these. Oh, okay. Each one of these should be equal, meaning they have the same amount of smelters attached to them. So each one of these should be equal, but in the game, they don't end up being equal, right? They end up being a little bit different. You know what I mean? Like some of them I've got a lot coming in. Some, you know, I mean, maybe I got them hooked up a little differently, but whatever. But by the time they go through the belt balancer system, they all come out equal on the other end. Like each one of these will run, well, I'll bet you I'm drawing too much if I add all that up again. I bet you I'm drawing too much out of there. So 881, I have to do that on an MK6. So I have 2 MK6 belts, and I think I'm drawing too much out the top is the problem. Anyway. Yeah. And then the Christmas area, of course, when Christmas happens. Right, Christmas area. I separated that. I have more being built, more coming in. There is more to build in this game. There's more to be done. On my map, everything on the map, like everything comes in on trains, right, and comes to the main base. Everything, except down that pair of light poles in the distance where my cursor is. Down there I have coal. And so the coal plant, the beginning coal plant is down there. It's not huge or nothing, but it's a beginning coal plant. Holmes, how you doing? Oh, it's your farming channel. Okay. Yeah, Christmas right around the bend. The whatchamacallit trees are going to fire up again in there, and then that's going to become active again. Because I didn't shut anything off or disconnect anything or anything like that. But yeah, this was all supposed to be, you know, in either built or like with the crane section, right? I was going to have stuff being built over here, partially built places, partially built buildings. The battery tower with all of the original biofuel in the basement. So that's all batteries. The copper top battery. Of course, I had to do that. And then the crane, I built that. The end game, that's all been built. That's all done. So the whole space elevator is all done. I didn't do too much, whatchamacallit in this? Hypertubes. There's not too much going on for hypertubes in this one. I did do the portals. Yeah, okay, so... Outpost for materials? Wow. Yeah, things take a little bit to load in this. golf guy. Like things take a little bit to load. That's the problem with this, is that things got just nuts in here. And my train network is pretty extensive. 2 out, 2 in. So although it shows 4 lanes, it's actually only like 2 trains out, 2 trains in. Or 2 sets of tracks out, 2 sets of tracks in. And all of my stations, all of my outposts look like this one. Where it's just commodities in, loaded up, that's it, done. There's nothing being built out in the Wild Blue Yonder out here. Like nothing. Everything comes in on trains. It's all 16 cars, right? Huge trains. Just bringing in commodities. That's all it is. The whole entire place. So, like, this is one outpost, if you want to call it that. And all it is just raw commodities being pulled into an area. That's it. That's all it is. So you'll see out in the wilderness, you will see lines like this running around, right? But it's just raw commodities. That's it. That's all. Nothing else. Wow, this isn't really huge. I mean, it brings in raw commodities, but I usually built like satellite factories or whatever you want to call them, where this at one point in time, I do believe this was my last time building here. One of my previous, I can't remember what it was. Yeah, this one, golf, this one was a lot of fun to build. Like, I have to admit, it was a lot of fun to build this. It was a lot of fun to play it. This took me, well, this one is 31 episodes. Some of those were 2 hours. Some of them are 12 hours. So it all depends upon, you know, what day you caught me on, right? And what kind of mood I was in, right? The train network is all on blueprints, once again. So all I got to do is put the base down. Everything else is populated. And then I just got to hook up 2 tracks, walk away. Right? Hook up 2 tracks, walk away. Next one. Hook up 2 tracks. Next one, next one, next one. Yeah, these were, it was a lot of fun to build this. I mean, it goes down below, right? Down into the swamp, where I collect commodities down there and then bring them up. Sometimes I do that with a train, and sometimes I just do it with belts. You know what I mean? Oh, wait, this one doesn't go. So, yeah, I mean, I was going to cover up... no. Believe it or not, I have no drones in this. Because I hadn't actually gotten them going... and I had everything built, basically. I had all of my stuff in, like, good to go. I didn't need drones. I was still going to get that whole new area that I kind of showed somewhat off by the Christmas on the far side of the base. That was going to be for drones. Because I was going to run drones in there, you know, for the whatever of it, right? This used to be a train station. I took it out because then I just ran it because it just got too, I don't know, it wasn't working for me anymore. I wasn't happy. Now, where can I get out there? Well, that's kind of why I didn't worry about drones, right? Yeah, that, and I have a bunch of this that I still need to build, like, you know what I mean? None of the hypertubes are connected out here. I did most of my travel on zip line anyway. Like most of my travel was done on zip line out here. Okay. So this is the fuel generation plant. One singular pure oil node. Fully overclocked, of course, right? One singular provides all the oil for this entire factory. The whole thing is done with one. I kind of got a kick out of that one. It was Deathus that showed this to me, right? That, you know, I mean, this can be done. It's kind of my own creation, kind of. All pipeline. I do package some up for personal use, right? Because, of course, I have, whatchamacallit, rocket fuel in here. So I do package some of it up. Been a while. Empty fluid tank, aluminum. Yeah, packaged rocket fuel. So I do have, like, I got a couple hundred on me. I do package some of it up. It goes into the dimensional, of course. But yeah, this is the fuel generation. That lasted me for a while. It was good for a while, right? And then I had to go nuclear. And this train doesn't hook up with the rest of the trains. This is its own line. All around, I did like numbers. So the whole factory is done by, you know, I mean, how much I'm bringing in, what I'm doing, how much I'm pulling out, all the rest of that. I have a bunch of places around the world where I am grabbing commodities, but I wouldn't, other than power, I have nothing that I'm going to call an outpost. Do you know what I mean, Golf? Like, it's like there's no outposts out there. Like, they're not, I wouldn't call them an outpost. An outpost to me, it is something where you build something in it. I mean, maybe I'm wrong on that. Maybe I don't want to put words in your mouth, but it's where I'm building something out in the wild blue yonder here. Yeah. There's like no, I mean, I bring in raw commodities and that's it. And then I ship them back to the main base. I'm going to get a message pretty quick here because the vein server's down. But I'm hogging all the bandwidth on my server right now because I want it all. And I do have trains running around, but I went simple rather than, you know, very difficult. I didn't need power. That's run by the big poles. I just need a place to run like a hypertube next to the train. Right? I mean, I didn't need much else. So I did pretty simple blueprinted legs. I had some fun with the train stations though. So I did have some fun with the train stations, right? As far as what they look like. But this one just brings in coal and I believe iron. Is all this one? Yeah, iron ore. So iron ore and coal, you know what I mean? Pretty simple. That's basically all the stations do. And I was going to build this, I had this plan for this bridge. I was going to do this, like, San Francisco suspension bridge looking thing. I was going to, oops. No, do not go that way. Yeah, that's the one I want. But most of this can be done on a blueprint, Golf. Like, absolutely, most of this can be done on a blueprint. Yeah, I mean, I have to connect all the rails, and I have to connect the, yeah, it's loading. Watch me lag. I'm heading out to my nuclear plant. Because eventually this needed nuclear power. The fuel generation plant was not cutting it. Oh, yeah. I don't know whether you can see the lag. I can see it. I feel the lag. If you're gonna build a big train network, you need to do it on blueprints. Like you have to. You can't not do it that way. Like it's just too much building. You need to get it done. So this is the nuclear plant. I don't know that you can see the lag, but I keep juddering here as it's loading. Oh yeah, well yeah. But I mean, you wanted to build parts of this, you just want to get it done quick, right? Like the rail network. I just want to get it done. I don't need a lot of, you know. Yeah, it's getting pretty bad, yeah. Okay. Do I got a suit on? Yes, I do. I got, okay. So, I built a nice little thing. This is the beach nuclear plant. I had a little fun with that, I guess. Yeah, everything, I did the same thing. Below this is the logistic level, where I move everything around so that the factory floor is as clean as I can keep it. You know, without having a lot of stuff running around. Most things are, you know, down below. You know what I mean? And yeah, just, you know, standard. I think this is a pretty standard nuclear plant. I don't know. It will handle, what was it again? 14, 14, and 14. So 28, 30, 42 nuclear power stations it will handle. That region next door will handle 42 of these. Right? Of course, I put power augmenters in here. My only issue, and I didn't hook this top portion up, this is not done, because I didn't need it right now. Like, it's not needed. The issue, believe it or not, came in with handling the waste. No, not as yet, Sim. There's no actual updates to this as yet. 1.2 is coming out, and they're supposed to handle a lot of the lag issues that people like myself are encountering, right? But that whole factory there will satisfy 3 levels of this. So there's 14 nuclear power plants, like power state or whatever you want to call it, right? The plants, right? There's 14 of these. There is no max. Like, game max, there is no max. You can make as many power plants as you want. I don't have them hooked up. Hang on, I gotta find a power pole here. Right now, my power is running at 150 to 160. I think that's, yeah, 161 is my capacity because of the power boost, right? Because of what they put in the game, you get this X percent, depending upon how many of these you got made. I believe I have 8 of them. And so if I'm remembering correct, that's an 80%. But I'm not, well, as you notice, sorry, I'll go back to this for a sec. As you notice, my consumption's only 43, 49, 47, you know what I mean? And my max consumption is only at, what, I think it blinked up at 102. You know what I mean? So my capacity is 161, my production's 159. I don't need what I'm above, right? Which is good. That's where you want to be. You want to be above, right? So that I got a lot more room. I got about 60 megawatts, 60,000 megawatts of room that I can goof around with before I have to start building anything. I can, at any time, right? This already pumps the, whatchamacallit, which one is it? One of these. There it is. So the fuel rods are already set for max, meaning I could have 42 of those running. Like I said, my bottleneck in here is with the waste product. That's where my bottleneck is. I was trying to run it a little bit better. I don't know whether you've seen these things before, okay, but these are power augmenters. And I can augment them further, but this takes summer sloop in the middle to, like, augment the power by 10%. So it's a 10% circuit boost, and I have 8 of these running. 4 here and 4 back at the main base. Right? So, but yeah, it's, the waste is just, it's horrible, dude. Trying to, see if I can get in down here. No. Okay. Like, I'm doing okay right now. Right? You can see the waste coming from the different, whatchamacallits. And it all travels over to here and then gets shoved next door. Right? Yeah, I do have a door down here. And then this whole facility takes care of it. But you'll see there's a backup. You know what I mean? Like, it's, yeah, it's handling it, but it's not, as I recall, I'd have to pull out my notebook and my numbers, but as I recall, this system will not handle, if I hooked up and went all 3 levels in here, it wouldn't handle the waste. As I recall, I needed 1 more of these, you know what I mean, next door. You know what I mean? Like, I'd have to build, basically double up this system. And then that would mean bringing in more commodities, more stuff. You know what I mean? More water, more, you know what I mean? It just, you'd have to, I'd have to have more stuff coming in. And I wasn't quite ready for that. I wasn't there. You know what I mean? Plus, I don't need the power. What I was going to try to do is hook up the 2nd level up there and hook up a little bits of it at a time and then see how much this can handle. That was the plan. I don't know. Yeah, until you need. Yeah, until I need it. It's working. It's doing the job. But I mean, I have, you know, structures out in the bush, and all they do is just bring in commodities to the different trains. Like, that's basically all they do. Most of my really long trains are all 3 engines, because then they take off faster. A single engine can run it in this game, but I run 3 engines because it's just faster. Like, it's got good pickup. You know what I mean? You're not waiting forever to get up to speed. Well, that's good. I don't mind going on a tour. You know what I mean? I've done a few tours of this over the, you know, somebody will join and say, hey, let me show me your base. And I'm like, you're looking at it. What do you mean? There's nothing else? Well, there's a power plant. You know what I mean? And that's about it. Because the rest of this stuff is just, they're just train stations. Like, that's it. And I did some interesting work as far as using some of the valleys. You know what I mean? For where I went. You know, I went through some tunnels. I had some fun that way. I used the terrain in a lot of places. You know, for the fun of it, right? I can't actually remember exactly where this train goes, which is why I hopped on it. But on this map, I basically have every summer sloop on the map. I have them. I've gone out and collected every one of them, right? So all the sloops are done. I got radar towers everywhere, so that everything's all undone. If I were to actually click in all of the, whatchamacallits, all of the resources and whatnot, it's, yeah. Yeah, I tried to keep all the trees. I tried not to cut down much. You know what I mean? I tried to keep everything, you know, like, as natural as I could. I tried to. I failed on a bunch of them, but, you know, whatever. There are a couple, because I also, if I were to cut the tree down now in X amount of playtime, like X amount of hours, right, it comes back. That tree will come back, right? I used as many tunnels as possible to run through, just for shits and giggles, right? Just to have some fun with it. And then that just goes back to the plant. So yeah, there's a little tour for you, Golf. And the map's done. Like, I have geothermal on all the geysers, right? Like, I mean, everything's been done. Everything's been adventured. You know, I've been everywhere on the map. I undid it all. I got all of the Mercer spheres, and I got all of the whatchamacallits. I used terrain features as often as I could. You know what I mean? Like, every time I could use a terrain feature, I used it. No, hey, no problem, man. I'm not quite done with the building and everything, but I just, like I said, it became way too laggy for me to, it might be because I'm running it on a server. It might be because the server is not powerful enough, you know, to run it properly. It might be like there's lots of might be's, right? That, and I guess this is the bridge. I was going to do like a suspension bridge across here, across the water here. I was going to do this whole build, And the thing is that the train stations got so big, right? And so many parts and pieces in there that I think that's where my lag came from, because otherwise, before I started doing the train stations and before I did the nuclear plant, I didn't really have too much of a lag problem before that. Like if I go back through my streams and I go back to before I had a nuclear plant and then before I did the train stations up, I didn't see a whole lot of lag happening on this server. But I mean, who knows? I also started running multiple servers on my server. So that could have also been part of it. But my resources on my server, it's nothing to run this. It's a dedicated server. It's a deadhead server. There's no graphics or anything. I mean, that thing doesn't even have a graphics card in it. All it shows is text. It doesn't show pictures. So got it working. Hey, knuckled right on, man. I've been doing a tour of my factory here. There's not much else to show. I do have a desert loop. Like I showed, that one train is called the Desert Loop. But it's just some stations out in the desert that I pick up commodities from. I don't think there's a whole lot else to look at on this one. Yeah. You can get going real fast. I didn't want to come in here too fast, though. So I didn't put, because you can put boosters on your, whatchamacallit? You just put a couple of these in a row, right? And, and then you speed yourself up. Oh, I'd burned through all those. I was going to come back on there, but it burned through them all. There's not a lot else to show. Like I said, everything's basic, all the builds. You know what I mean? Some of them are hidden inside buildings, right? But everything's huge, dude. Everything is huge in this thing. Like, it's all over. It looks like it's all overbuilt. Like I'm making way too much of something, but I'm not, actually. Yeah. So I got a station out there. And there's one in the back over here. Right, they're barely loading. All they do is pick up raw commodities. That's it. That's all. I do have, I think in this one, do I not have a train that runs out to the fuel depot? That might be my previous build that happened in. Yeah, okay, so that was the previous one. Shot you from one side of the map to the other. Yeah. Still killed you no matter what. Yep, absolutely. Unless you wear a parachute. I did that when it first came out. When hypertubes first came out, we all did it. Right? Come on. We all did that. So this is the final thing to show. And this would be all of the production throughout the whole entire factory. Everything that gets built, everything that gets done, all of the numbers. Some of it's not 100%, by the way. Okay, and some of it's a little old. Like 61,000 megawatts. Yeah, no, it's a little more than that now. And then where I'm getting benefits from everything. And I don't have all of it filled out 100%. But yeah, this is this is where I figured out all my production. And it's all done in this end of the factory. I have all the statues. I have all the stuff. That's all gibbly-gook. Yeah, other than that, guys, that's it. That's my factory tour. There you go. Like I said, I was gonna put a building on this. Like I was working towards that. You know, so it looks like this is carrying a whatchamacallit, like an assembler or something. Yeah, those are pretty good numbers. But here's the thing. Golf, I'm not making 300 turbo motors or anything crazy. Really, I'm not. All right. I'm making 3 factories worth of turbo motors. That's it. 7 per minute. So 21 per minute. That's it. That's all I'm making. And yes, I'm syncing them, of course, right? Like, of course, I'm syncing the extras. But, and I have, you know what I mean, them coming up to a dimensional depot. I have a storage full, right? So that I can draw upon all of my stuff has that storage. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not making insane numbers here. Like, that's the turbo motor factory. You know what I mean? And this one, well, this one will take care of, whatchamacallit, gas and whatchamacallit filters. But it also does the animal, the DNA capsules. And then that gets shipped back to a sink. You know, like I mean, this isn't insane numbers, really. I only have one of these making, you know, 20 singularity cells. That's it. You know what I mean? I'm only making, the 3 high pressure conversion cubes per minute. You know what I mean? I'm not making insane numbers. And yet, if you go downstairs, you could, where you could whatever you wanted, fix that bug where you could whatever you wanted using the factory card. Oh yeah, of course I have ammo. Absolutely, man. Nobelisks. And the turbo rifle ammo is all done on the dimensional depots. Oh, I don't know. I never tried that, Knuckled. I never tried duping. It's not my, whatever. I like to build a factory. You know what I mean? I like the process of building it, right? I really need to get my raw commodities, my inbounds. I need to get those done. I have everything, like the hub and everything. That's all. Everything's done. Everything in the MAM is done. I think I got one thing on, the nuclear, because I never cared about it. Sorry, never cared about it. I mean, that didn't matter to me. But one of the numbers that you might want to see comes in down here. I do believe it's over here. Okay, I thought it was over here. Got to be on the other side. Yeah, I don't know, Knuckled. I have no idea. It's not something I track. You know what I mean? Like I didn't pay attention to it. Well, where the heck? Maybe it's upstairs. So plates are 1,200 a minute. 1620 on... I'm sure I had an inbound... Okay. Of course, now that I'm looking for it, I'm not going to find it. Inbound raw ore coming in. I was sure I had that. Okay, wow. Sorry. I thought I had that somewhere. It was somewhere around... I don't know. I don't even want to project because I don't remember what it was. But I do have a lot of smelters. I mean, I got 4 banks of these. Smelting banks. Just doing raw ingots, right? Ore into ingots. Sorry, buddy. I thought I had the numbers on that. Oh, well. Maybe I don't. Oh, well. Okay, well. You can see the sheer amount of, whatchamacallits I got running. And they're all full. They're all... Same with the copper. Although it seems I'm running into a copper problem last time I was playing. Seems I have overstressed my copper system. You know what I mean? Because there's some pretty empty belts on there. Well, I don't usually build small. Like, that's just... I don't seem to build small. I build big. Yeah, I have a serious indent. That's where the problem is. Right. I need more copper. Okay. Like copper ore. I don't have enough. Because by the time it goes through there and comes out the other end... Yeah, I got some pretty empty belts over here. I seriously thought I had numbers, because I got numbers on everything else. I thought I had numbers on that. You know what I mean? Like, I know what else, you know what I mean? I know all the stuff that I'm building. 1400 cable, you know what I mean? Blah, blah, blah. Like, I know all my... I thought I had a number on inbound iron ore. I thought I had a number on that. It's a big amount. It is. It's a rather large amount. Anyway, there you go, everybody. There's and I was gonna put roads and streets and, you know, I mean, pathways and all the rest of that. I was gonna put all that up in between the buildings. You know what I mean? Some are gonna look like back alleys. Some are gonna look like front streets. Some of them are gonna have, you know, lines and intersections and all the rest of that fun stuff. And the problem is that, yeah, things became impossible to build. When I was putting the crane together, things were getting to be harder and harder to build. So that's when, and I can't pull anything apart in here. I can't rip it down. I can't, you know, none of that. And it just, I would have to move it, probably over to my main system and then, maybe shut down the factory so that none of the belts are running. You know what I mean? And then let a lot of this stop, turn off all of the syncing that I'm doing. Because I'm doing a lot of syncing. Like, I'm syncing a lot of items. Just to keep the factory running, just to have things running. I'm obviously running into, like, a copper ore problem. I think I did a lot of my numbers when I figured out this factory, I did a lot of my numbers before they did the last couple of items that they put in the game. All of my numbers are pre, not nuclear pasta, pre this. Neural quantum processors and dark matter, and these, not supercomputers, time crystal, excited photonic matter. Before any of this stuff was added to the game, I did my numbers up. You know what I mean? Like I did all my stuff up before that stuff was added in. So that kind of messed with my numbers when I went to go do this. Kinda, sorta, a little bit, maybe, yeah. Anyway. So, there you go, guys. Yeah, I was going to keep this one to an hour. Because I don't think I'm going to build in this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think I have to restart. Yeah, oh, hey, yeah. All of the power runs under here. It runs in the roof of the basement. Okay? So, all the power connects, right, to the top. Then that power runs downstairs, right, which once again runs downstairs. I was happy when I did all this, and this is where all of your poles connect, is down here in the basement, right? So when I built here, what I did was I do believe I took the highest sand dune in the region, which I think was this one here, or close, you know what I mean? And then I went like 3 blocks above it, and then I ran power in between each down here. Right? So in between each, and then that power runs all the way up that particular pole. Right? And then as you're building your factory, okay, as you're putting in, whether it be the lights, whatever it is, right? Like whatever you're putting into your factory, okay, all of that power runs to the ceiling, and then I'll bet you above this is a piece of machinery, right? And then that piece of machinery runs below. So you'll see that power line runs into the machine and down below. And then I put on my blueprints, I put this, it's usually yellow, okay, but I put this pole and I colored it black. And then as I do my blueprints, right? So when I put up single production, 3 constructor generic, okay, blueprint, 3 constructor with power. You see that pole? So the power is already hooked up. All I gotta do is hook 3 and 3. So all I gotta do is hook that one to this one, and all 6 are hooked up. And then one of them leads downstairs. And each string is done that way. They all have these black poles. And each string is done. Right? So all you got to do is hook these 2 together. I'm pretty sure that's where the connection is. You can barely see the line. So all you got to do is hook this together, and then one end or the other, probably the other, goes downstairs. Right? And there you go. There's the line going downstairs right there. And it goes down and then it hooks into the ceiling. So you don't see any, there's no power poles anywhere. In the whole factory, basically, there's no power poles. And that's because everything's run down below the floor. All of it. Very clean. Exactly. All of the... I'm not saying I don't have any, because of course I do, right? But for the most part, anything is run down in the logistics level. Everything and anything is run down here. Like all of it is run down here. So to keep this organized, anything running north and south is run from the ceiling. Okay? Anything running east to west is run from the floor on stacking poles. you'll notice that if you space it right, they just run in between each other. And everything fits nice and clean. So anytime you're running down here, everything meshes together like a weave. And I did that by figuring out how many spaces, and then when I put my floor in, I think I raised it up by 1. Like this is raised up by just 1 meter. I mean, I put a 1 meter on top of the other just to start out with. Okay. The plan for anything water, anything piping, was to run it on the ground, right? So anything that ran on the ground was piping, and then as I grew, right, I grew downwards from the ceiling. Like even if I had to put stacking poles, right, I still went top shelf and then grew my way down here. And yeah, I mean, I was gonna color code all of the whatchamacallit. I got a couple down here that are color coded, but for the most part, oh, well, here you go. Yeah, so I started doing some color coding, right? Like that's copper, obviously. You know what I mean? So that's a copper. I mean, I did start, but I didn't carry on with it. You know what I mean? It didn't take. And yeah, I mean, every time you shift from east-west to north-south, you go from stacking poles to ceiling poles, to these things, right? To the conveyor ceiling mounts, right? So that you keep your factory, you can get in and out and around. And yeah, there is a bit of clipping. I mean, you can't avoid it, right? Like there's no way you're going to avoid clipping. But I didn't want like this conveyor running straight through that conveyor. I just didn't want that. It's no thanks. No way. I wanted my conveyors to be as neat as possible, which I think I've achieved. I think this works. But you can put, you can then fit any splitter that you need between, and it's about as clean as you're going to get. The, whatchamacallit, starts stacking up from the basement, like from the ground, right? And for the most part, the pipes don't interrupt the conveyors. The conveyors run along the ceiling, the pipes run along the floor, and it ended up being nice and clean. I'm happy the way it worked. I do run a couple of poles or a couple of pipes in the ceiling. What that's for is for gravity. I do believe I ran that for gravity, because I had some tanks and whatnot that had to get run. Yeah, it's miles and miles and miles of this. I mean, you can't even see to the far end of the factory anymore. You know what I mean? When you're on this end of the factory, you can't really see to the far end of the factory. Yeah, I had a lot of fun building it, everybody. I really did. I had a lot of fun building it. But when it came right down to it, the lag started to get unreal. I tried to build like stuff on the roof. You know what I mean? And make it look like a heat exchanger unit on the roof. I tried that. That pipe doesn't lead anywhere. You know what I mean? Like I tried to use, stuff in the game and make heat exchanger. I tried, I was going to put a crane on this tall one. I was going to put a crane up here. As it ended up, I was going to do something up top here. Da-da-da. I was going to have some fun. This was supposed to be a hotel, like I said. And it had a roadside cafe down at the bottom. Right? Like this was going to be just like a sidewalk cafe out here. And this building is my, is my rod building. So this entire building is just rod making, right? From top to bottom. It just makes rods. That's all it does. And it's a pretty tall building, man. Like that's how much room I needed to make all the rods that I needed in the game. Yes. And then this building is something else, you know what I mean? This one will be, oh, this one's okay. Steel beams. So steel beams come in and turn into screws. So this is the screw factory, right? And yeah, I mean this is how much room I needed. This is the amount of screws that I have in the game. I'm sure this one. I'm thinking my previous build. I had numbers up. I thought I did anyway. So anyway, yeah, this is the amount of screws I have in the game. Like, you know what I mean? And then this all runs downstairs to get shuffled around the factory. So, I mean, even though it looks nice and clean on the outside, right? Right? It looks nice and, but it's like, if it was going to be dirty, I covered it up, is what I mean. Screws, 14,040 per minute in screws. And then all those come down somewhere. Oh, okay, finally. Iron ingots, 7,920 per minute. And then where they're going for plates, rods, right? And then an extra 1,800 per minute. Then all that gets shuffled around the factory. I believe this is screws. Yeah, so these are all screws coming down and then getting, once again, shuffled all over the factory to wherever they need to go. So to me, I had to build a logistic level for this. Like, I had to. There was no choice. I had to build a logistic level. It had to be buried beneath. And then when I started doing that, I noticed that I didn't need anything out here. So that I could just do streets, avenues, you know what I mean? Like, that was the whole, that was the gist of it. It was, I was going to build streets and alleyways and have this look like a city up here. You know what I mean? And then some of the buildings were going to be, you know, these interesting, like I did a little funkiness here, you know what I mean? Like I was going to have some fun with the buildings, glass structures and all sorts of different things. Yeah, that was the plan. And then, yeah, I kind of lagged myself out, or I'm going to see about 1.2. If it gets better in 1.2, I'll come back to this and I'll revisit it. But other than that, that's going to be the factory tour. That's the 10-cent tour. I believe I have the golden nugget to get. The nut? I believe I have that one to get yet. So the only one I got left is the golden nut. That's all I got left. Otherwise, I have everything else, all the rest of the statues. I have the golden cup. I finished the game. You know, blah, blah, blah. I got everything done. It was a lot of fun. This has been a lot of fun to build this one. Oh, dude, if you're gonna build even partially this big, you need a logistic level. I first got into logistic levels like 4 builds ago, like update 5, I think is when I first started getting into logistic levels to handle what I was doing in my factories. And the fact that I like it better when, you know what I mean, everything comes up from the basement, it goes into a build, right? Nice and neat. You know what I mean? And this one, yes, I was going to hide this behind a building, and you know, like that's what all of the walls are for. I was going to build buildings and do that kind of stuff, but I like it a lot better, and it looks neater to me when you can bring your stuff up, build it, right? Collect it, and this was before the dimensional depots, but collect it and then send it downstairs for wherever it needs to go, right? Because otherwise, yeah, it becomes spaghetti. And even the logistic level can turn into spaghetti as well, Golf. Like, absolutely, it can turn into spaghetti. Like, it just, in seconds, that can just get really nasty down there. So that's when I came up with the, you know what I mean? When you run one way, you're here. When you run the other way, you're here. And that came from many, many, many logistic levels that were a convoluted mess down there. Like, they were just nuts, man. It was just crazy downstairs. And it got worse and worse and worse. And then they kept adding new buildings into the game. They kept adding new stuff. And I mean, great, fantastic. I love new stuff. New stuff is great. But unless you do, you know what I mean? Unless you figure out, and like I said, all it takes is you just put a 1 meter building, you build your normal floor, and then go 1 meter up. And that should allow you to do the, you know what I mean, the cross, being able to cross, you know what I mean? Like, you should be able to get it done. And then the level below that is smelting. So you bring stuff in the basement, you smelt it, You bring it upstairs, move it around to where you need it, and then start to build your individual stuff. Yeah. Do a load balance. Oh, well, yeah, well, I kind of showed those, Iron Moon. I mean, I kind of showed them. So, I mean, let's do the simplest one. The belt balancer is a 3x3. So if you bring 3 commodities in, right, and you want to put 3 commodities out, this will balance it, right? Because this bottom one, and actually, hang on. How do I get this into blueprint mode again? It's been too long. No, that's mass dismantle. Wow, it's been so long I don't remember how to get back into blueprint mode for disassembling. Well, this is what I wanted to do. I'll show you. Okay. So the belt that comes in the bottom, right? If you have a commodity on that, it comes in the bottom. It gets split into 3. So 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, and that's the way the splitters work in this game. It goes really fast, but it's still 1 goes here, 1 goes there, 1 goes there. And I'm not sure which order it does it in, but who cares? So if 1 goes up, right, to the top one, this one comes to the bottom one, and that other one goes to the middle one, right? Now, if I add everything back in, right, that was taken out of there, you know what I mean? Each one of these does the same thing, meaning the middle one goes to its 3 partners, you know what I mean? And the okay. So now when I so now each one of these splits it between one of the other 3. So what ends up happening is that, and I don't know about anyone else, but in this game, all of my lines are never equal. They're never the same. Meaning, this belt might have 150 on it. That belt might have, you know, whatever. And I can show it to you downstairs as I was doing the tour, right? That when I have the, I believe it's under logistics here. When I have the Thorough-Put, right? When you put that on, you'll get a number on that, and it's never the same as the other ones, even though they're coming from the same destination or from the same origin, going basically the same, like they don't seem to run exactly the same all the time. So knowing this, knowing that my raw commodities come from impure, pure, and normal nodes, right? Like it's an impure will run at, let's just go with MK1 belts, right? Or MK1 miners. You'll run at 15 per minute, 30 per minute, or 60 per minute. Okay, well, if you have 15 per minute coming in here, and you have 30 per minute coming in there, and then you have 60 per minute coming in there, okay, that's 90, 105. Let's just say you want to run 30, 30, and 30 out. You'll be able to do that, no problem, and this splits it all up. Then I got into 4x4, 5x5, 6x6. So this one is 6 tall, right? before I made all the blueprints, Iron, you are absolutely correct. Load balancing was a pain in the arse. You are absolutely correct. It was a total pain in the ass. But once I built, like that one's 15 by 15. Okay, so 15 lines can come into this, and 15 lines will leave it. Now, the difference is that you can't just do one stack. You have to do multiple stacks to mix it up. And with the nodes at different levels, you have, I mean, I'm not going to say you have to, but there are other ways of doing this. I mean, I've seen other people do other ways. It's not like they don't exist, right? But this was the easiest to blueprint. And then once I blueprinted it, before I blueprinted it, this was a hassle. This was a pain in the arse. And a few of my friends and whatnot that saw me do it, this is before I YouTubed. This is when, you know, buddies would join me on Discord. And it's like, well, how do you do this? And you got any ideas on this? And I would give them ideas. And one of my ideas was this one. Was, you know what I mean? Having a belt balancing system. And I did an actual video, for anyone watching, I did an actual video on how to do the belt balancing system. And a couple of people gave me a hard time on that video. Yeah, no problem. It's not for everybody. Valorous, how you doing? What's the plan? I was just doing a base tour. I was just doing a factory tour. Valios. That's it. Just a factory tour. That was the whole... I'm encountering too much lag on this. Because of the amount that I have built and what I got running downstairs and whatnot, this is just way too much. They are compact, Iron Moon. You can build them in a very, very small amount of space, right? And you can have them running. You know what I mean? And they will balance on the far end. Oh, you missed it. Ah, sorry. I'm trying to keep this short, Valius, so that you can go back and watch it. Okay? But I have some lag issues. I have things not, you know what I mean? I have some issues in this. But you can put these very, very close together, Iron Moon. Right? But like I said, I'm not bringing in enough copper. Look how empty those belts are. They should be full. And I'm seeing my problem when I come to the far end of this. I have like 4 empty, you know what I mean? And 4 slots down there, and I never filled them up. So, well, that's copper, Valius. This is a belt balancing system. So that no matter what, this one's quite extensive. No matter how much you're bringing in, right? Like these are coming down from upstairs. So if I have an odd number, or I don't have, you know, an equal number of, whatchamacallit's coming in, wire, right? Wire coming from upstairs. This will balance it so that if I draw more on one than the other, as long as the individual line, because these are MK5 belts, right? And an MK5 belt will run 780 resources per minute. So I could have a couple of these belts running at 780, some other ones running a little less. I'm obviously not pulling very much off of my wire line at this moment, right? So that's what the belt balancing system was for. It was actually, originally it was made for, whatchamacallits? Ingots and ore, because that's the biggest thing that you'll bring in is ingots and ore. That's where a lot of your resources. That's where your high numbers come from. Is the ingots and ore. You don't run. I don't know about anyone else. I don't run that many. Whatchamacallits? Like wire. I just don't. I don't run that much. Yeah, that's. I don't know whether you were here for it, Valorous, but just below, this would be my logistics level. So everything comes in the basement and then gets run around the factory in here so that I don't have any transport lines up top in the main level. This was, what did I figure this out to be? 22, yeah, this is why I'm getting lag, yeah. 22,000 square meters of factory is what this place is. If I count 10 spaces between each, these are 4 by 4, 4 meter by 4 meter, right? So if I count all of that up, I'm running about 22,000 square meter factory. So it's a good size. I mean, that's why I started getting lag. That's what, I mean, and the thing is that that's also why I started to build buildings around certain parts of it, because then I don't need to boot it up as a graphic, right? Like, it doesn't have to boot this up graphically. And yet this runs in behind the scenes. You know what I mean? This being my screw factory, right? So the screw factory will run behind the scenes, and that will transmit screws all over the factory as I need them. 14,000 screws in and around the factory needed to run this factory. I don't have everything running. The whole point was to run the whole factory in sinks so that the whole factory is running at all times. It's running at its potential, at its full amount at all times. That was part of what I wanted to do. That's not what's happening, right? Like, I am sinking items, but I'm not sinking the whole factory. The whole factory's not getting sunk. And I mean, I wish I could, but that's, once again, I started to run into, yeah. Anyways, Golf, thanks, man. We'll talk to you later. I already have MK6 belts, fellas. I just don't have them running everywhere because I don't have a need for it, right? Like, I'm coming over here because, yes, I have MK6 belts, right? I'm running my Samor on an MK6 belt. Wife's doing just fine. She went off to work. So, but if I don't have the commodity needed, Valors, you have a good night. Have fun. Take the dog for a walk. Thank you very much, Golf, for the sub on Twitch. Thank you, buddy. You're awesome. And we'll see more of you now that I'm back. I'm streaming and whatnot. But yeah, I'm gonna hour and a half. I'm gonna cut off this video so that like, Valorous, you can go back and watch it, and you can see the full base tour. I take you out to my fuel plant. I go out to my nuclear facility. Like, I go around the whole thing. So if you want to go watch it, then it's only an hour and a half. It's pretty easy. But anyway, everybody. Yeah. So I really need to get this all figured out. Get all my numbers done up. Because, yeah, I'm making 14,000 screws. I don't have the... Like, I got the Deuterium at 2,100. I don't have my iron and my copper lines. I meant to get them done. But, yeah. I have most of my numbers. Most of them are done. Most of my numbers are in. It's just the base numbers aren't. So, yeah. But I'm not making an insane amount of everybody. I mean, cooling, 18 per minute. 15 per minute, 6 per minute, 75 computers, but you do need quite a few. Like frames, turbo motors are they on here? Oh, they're not even on here. I'm making like what? 14? No, 21. A potential of 21 turbo motors per minute. Like, that's it. I'm not making a lot. Like, this isn't, I never meant this to be, oh, hey, thanks, Nuts. Thanks, man. Yeah, I tried. Yeah, I what I wanted to do is know at a glance what I had on a spreadsheet, because I normally do all this on a spreadsheet, Valius. Thanks for the bits, Golf. You have a good night, man. You're awesome. You're a rock star. Thank you, buddy. But yeah, and then all of my power is run, you know what I mean? Like, all of it is run so that I can shut off individual portions of it. I can redo my lights, you know what I mean? Because I got lights downstairs and whatnot. So if I need to shut off certain parts of this factory, I can shut it off. If the whole thing goes, which it happened, watch my live streams, this thing went down so many times like anyone else, right? Like anyone else that plays Satisfactory, we've all blown a fuse. Come on. Okay, so for me to fire this back up again, my biomass facility is over in the copper top battery. I hope you like the irony of that. Yes, all the batteries are in that round tower. Okay, so that's why it's a copper top. Get it? Yeah. Okay, so in the basement is the biomass facility. So the biomass facility has to get fired up first. The whole factory has to get shut off. It does through those switches. Then I have to go out to the the coal-fired power plants, which are off in the distance, probably over by that tower, right? Off on the coast. Then I have to fire those up, which I have switches to do that. Then I got to run all the way over to the fuel factory on the other side of this rock structure, right? The fuel gens. Then, after I fire all that up, then I can run out to the nuclear facility and I can fire the nuclear facility up. And I was actually able to get all of that going. So I'm running. I have most things shut off right now. Most of the stuff in this game is turned off, but I have a max consumption of 104,000. So if I fired everything up, I would be sucking back about 100. I think last time I fired it all up was about 90,000, roundabout. But I make 158, a total capacity of 161. And my power booster is 70. I want to get away from the stereo. So that's only 1/3 of my nuclear facility, Valius. 1/3 of it. And that's how much I'm making. But remember, the biogas, I kept enough of it around to fire up the coal plant. There's enough in the coal plant to fire up the fuel gen. And then, of course, once I get the fuel generator plant up, it's done. I don't have too much of a problem. Yeah, about 100,000 for all the machines. Roundabout. Like, it's not, to me, it's not a super build. Like, I've seen, oh, I can make 1 million screws. Yeah, well, okay, you know, great. Good on you. You know, and it's an impressive factory. And it was an impressive build. I only need about 14,000 screws to run this factory and have the whole thing run. And all I got to do is run around and go hook up all of my sinks, Valius. That's all I got to do. Excuse me. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm going to shut this off because if I don't, I'll just keep talking. Basically, if you want Valius, this will be a live stream. It'll produce as soon as I shut it off. It should anyways. And you'll be able to go back and go watch it. And then you can see the whole factory. You know what I mean? Because I do go through it piece by piece. Mixed Nut there, Golf, he's an old friend. And he wanted to see this factory, so I loaded it up. But I can't build. When I build something, it takes too long to fire in. And it also, you'll notice when I had this built, pieces of this was, yeah, there you go. So I get this happening. Clipping and yeah, all sorts of funkiness starts happening. You know what I mean? Off in the distance, like you can see that. Yeah, all that starts happening. I start falling through the world. All sorts of goofiness starts happening. So yeah, it is unfortunate. I had a lot of fun building this, but it is unfortunate that either my server won't run it or my machine won't run it. One of the two. You know what I mean? But I had a lot of fun building this. But I won't be building one like this again. Everything in the world comes to here as a central build. So in the future, I will be having, like, you know, this built over there and, you know, I don't know, nuclear pasta being built over there and you know, whatever, right? Like I'll have other stuff built in other places is the way I'm going to run this in the future. And that way, if I don't also, no. Oh, go ahead, buddy. Thanks for the sub. You're awesome. Yeah, it'll, supposedly in 1.2, they're going to tackle a lot of the lag issues that are happening. And so I don't mind the flickering as much. That doesn't bother me too much. It's the fact that I fall through the world here and there. This was supposed to be a nice clean build with some streets, you know what I mean? And intersections and lights and, you know, there's supposed to be a lot of that fun stuff going on in this build. And I had to put it away. It wasn't a good day, but I had to do it. Anyway, everybody, thanks for dropping by. Thanks for visiting. Valius, nice to meet you. Hope to see you in the future. All of my builds are this big. It doesn't matter what game I play, bro. All of my stuff is big. I build big. I don't build small. I always build big bases and big stuff. Always have, always will. It's just the way it goes. Anyways, everybody, thank you much. Thanks for, coming along on the tour. You guys have a good day, and we'll see you in the future. Oh, wait, yeah. I guess I'm supposed to be here. Goodbye.